Now that we have our preferences set, it's time to get started. Let's bring back up the opening window by going to the Help and Welcome to Xcode. And this window has some nice features. On the right-hand side, we can see all of our recent projects that we've had open. And when you move to the left, we can see that we can create a new Xcode project, Getting Started with Xcode, and Apple Developer Connection. If you click on the Apple Developer Connection, it'll take you to developer.apple.com. And that's where we went to download Xcode to begin with. Getting started with Xcode, let's click this and see what happens. This brings up our documentation and gives us a few more options and to get more familiar with not just Xcode, but the documentation itself. Let's go ahead and close this window for now. Go ahead and click Create a new Xcode project. Now there are several options to choose from. You want to make sure that you've selected Application in the left-hand side. And so normally we would create a Cocoa application, but to begin with, let's go ahead and create a command line tool instead. This involves less frameworks and less files, and it's easier to learn through. So click Command Line Tool, and then under the Type, choose Foundation. Go ahead and click Choose, and we'll just call this one Play File. And click Save. Now there are two main sections to Xcode. The first on the left is the Groups and Files. Under Play File, this is a group and it will hold all of your source files and assets. Starting with targets, all the way to the bottom, these are called smart groups. And we'll get into those more later. As a matter of fact, we'll create one ourselves. Let's go to Source, and toggle that open, and go to Play File M. Once we click on Play File M, we can see that in the editor, anything that is editable within Xcode will show up in this section right here, which is called the editor. Now above the editor, we can see that we have detail, and this will display whatever you have chosen in the groups and files. It'll show you what is in that group. So if we click on Source, we'll see all the files that are within the source folder. Same thing if we click on Products, Targets, it'll just display those particular files and items that are in that group. So we'll go ahead and go back to Source and select it. And if we look over at the Project Find, when you're wanting to find something within your project, this is the place to go. You can click Find, you can do a Find and Replace. We can select in all open files and all open projects, in frameworks, in just this project. There are several items you can choose from for the search locations. We can choose a textual representation, a regular expression, definitions, or a symbol. We can choose contains, start with, whole words, or ends with, and ignore case, and then there's also options. And as you can see here, there are many more options to choose from for your search. So we'll go ahead and close this. SCM results, this is for using Subversion, which is beyond the scope of this training. And then build results. And we have no results yet because this project hasn't been built yet.